Unit 731, Humanity's Darkest Laboratory. Imagine a place where science and horror collide, a place where humans are not seen as people, but as living test subjects, a place where death is routine and suffering is an experiment. This was Unit 731, the secret research division of the Imperial Japanese Army, operating from 1930 to 1945 in Manchuria, China. Behind the closed doors of this facility, the unimaginable happened. Men, women, and even children were captured, stripped of their rights, and subjected to experiments that no human should endure. Here, the limits of human cruelty were pushed beyond comprehension. Bodies were dissected alive, diseases were unleashed intentionally, cold and starvation were weaponized. By the end of World War II, more than 200,000 lives had been destroyed in the name of so-called science. You may think this is the plot of a horror movie, but this was real, and the scars it left on humanity are permanent. The formation of Unit 731. In the early 1930s, as Japan expanded its empire into China, the Imperial Army created Unit 731, officially disguised as a water purification unit. But behind this innocent name was a secret laboratory dedicated to biological warfare. The man behind this program was General Shiro Ishii, a microbiologist and army physician, obsessed with testing the limits of human survival. He convinced the army that in order to develop new weapons, humans needed to be tested on directly. Prisoners of war, political dissidents, and local civilians became laboratory subjects. The camp was heavily guarded, and its true nature was hidden even from the majority of Japanese society. The scientists operated under a chilling motto: the value of a human life is measured by what it can teach us about death. Vivisection, surgery, without mercy. One of the most horrifying experiments was vivisection, the dissection of living humans without anesthesia. Prisoners were restrained, and scientists would remove organs to study disease progression, blood flow, and tissue reaction. Sometimes twins were selected for comparative experiments, where one twin would be infected with a disease and the other kept healthy for observation. The suffering was immense. Victims would often die mid-procedure, and the researchers would continue to study their bodies post-mortem. The scale and cruelty of these experiments are almost impossible to comprehend. Imagine being strapped down, conscious, and knowing that your body is about to be cut open, with no chance of escape or mercy. Deadly pathogens and disease testing Unit 731 was also a center for biological warfare research. Scientists deliberately infected prisoners with deadly diseases such as plague, Yersinia pestis, cholera, typhoid, anthrax. These diseases were tested on humans to study their effects and to develop weapons that could be deployed on cities. Victims were deliberately exposed to infection, left untreated, and monitored until death. Reports describe mass casualties from untreated infections, with bodies often left to rot, while scientists documented every symptom and reaction meticulously. Freezing and starvation experiments. Beyond disease, Unit 731 tested the limits of human endurance in extreme conditions. Prisoners were exposed to freezing temperatures to study hypothermia. Victims were left outside in the snow or submerged in ice water for hours. Scientists observed how long it took for death to occur and experimented with warming techniques to try to reverse hypothermia, sometimes successfully, other times merely prolonging the suffering. Starvation experiments were equally cruel. Prisoners were deprived of food for days or weeks, their bodies and minds deteriorating while researchers measured organ failure, muscle decay, and psychological breakdown. Biological weapons testing on cities Unit 731 was not just a laboratory, it was a weapon factory. In some experiments, plague-infested fleas were dropped on Chinese villages. Cholera, anthrax, and typhoid bacteria were released into wells and rivers. These attacks caused mass deaths, and survivors often carried lifelong diseases. The scientists documented every outbreak meticulously, recording the number of deaths, symptoms, and speed of infection. In their eyes, these were just data points, but to the people of Manchuria, these were unspeakable horrors. The human cost. By the end of the war, Unit 731 had claimed the lives of over 200,000 people. Men, women, and children, all treated as test subjects. Families were torn apart. Villages were decimated. The psychological and physical scars of the survivors lasted a lifetime. Even after the war, many of the scientists involved in Unit 731 escaped prosecution by giving their research to the United States during the Cold War, effectively trading impunity for knowledge of human experimentation. This dark legacy highlights how political power can shield the worst atrocities. The legacy of horror. Unit 731 remains one of the most gruesome chapters in human history. It serves as a chilling reminder that under the guise of science, morality can be completely erased. Every detail, the vivisections, the infections, the freezing experiments, is a testament to what happens when humans are dehumanized and reduced to objects of research. Documenting these horrors is essential, not to shock without purpose, but to remember the victims and ensure such crimes are never repeated. A warning from history. The story of Unit 731 is not just about history, it is a warning. The pursuit of knowledge without ethics can lead to unimaginable suffering. It reminds us of the fragile line between science and horror, and the importance of protecting human dignity above all else. Every year, as we uncover more about this dark laboratory, we confront the depth of human cruelty, the power of secrecy, and the enduring need for justice. Unit 731 was a place where horror was systematic, suffering was data, and death was the ultimate teacher. And while the world may try to forget, the echoes of its victims cry out across history, a chilling testament to the darkest potential of mankind.